Hello, every Hello, everybody, and welcome back to our next grammar module. Today, we're going to be looking at subject-verb agreement, which I think is actually the most important thing you do in English grammar. And people say, "Wow, it's a pretty, bold statement and a pretty early on in this module set to be doing the most important thing." Well, because it's the building block of everything else. As I tell my students all the time, if you can do subject-verb agreement, you can do anything in English grammar. But if you can't do it, you really can't do anything in English grammar, with any kind of certainty. So let's start by looking at this simple chart. And again, I always encourage you to write these things down. The act of writing them down engages you. It's going to help you a lot there. So let's start with this right here. This chart is something you can always refer back to if you're not sure. This is the very simple I walk, you walk, he walks, she walks, it walks, we walk, they walk. Done. You'll notice that the only one that changes in conjugation is the third person singular, which is he, she, or it. Everything else, the verb just remains the same. Very few exceptions to that in English. We'll get into that. Let's start looking at examples. So again, I write these down. These are two very simple examples you could use. My friend likes algebra. Now, how did you know that that was correct? Because you find the subject. What's doing the liking? Well, it's my friend that likes. And if I wanted to translate my friend into a pronoun, I would either say he or she. He likes algebra. That works. The same thing in the second sentence. The girl in my class sings. Girl is the person who's doing the singing. So she, girl, sings. Done. See how easy this is? Let's move on to the next one. We'll do the same sentences, but they're going to be in plural form. My friends. Now it's friends, so now it's they. They like algebra. The girls in my class sing. Girls. They sing. Again, really, really super easy. And if anytime you need to pause, just pause to write these down, and then you can do the highlights yourself and understand how those work. But now let's look at what can get tricky. Sometimes the subject can be hard to find. You're not sure. So let's start with the first example. The box of crayons is brown. Joe, along with all the other boys, waits his turn. So let's start with that first sentence. When I say the box of crayons is brown, some people might be tempted to say are brown. But what am I talking about? I'm talking about the box. Notice I didn't say the crayons are brown because the crayons are likely a number of different colors. But the box in which we are keeping the crayons, that box is brown. So the box, it, is brown. And then in the next one, when you have all of this set off with a comma, so you have Joe, then you'll notice a comma begins, along with all the other boys, comma. We call that a non-essential clause. For purposes of subject-verb agreement, you can basically just cross that out. And then it becomes Joe, he waits his turn. Now there's a lot more in subject-verb agreement, so this module is going to end right here, because then in the next module, we're going to look at the next possibility for it, because there are several different areas. Hope this was helpful. Hope to see you in the next module.